But this week we're carrying on with the scenery and the greenery.
So we do the same process to these rocks up here. There's some little white bits here that I've managed to knock. I'll put a bit of dead grass growing on here. This is the 2 mil dead grass, so a bit longer. And I'm actually going to put some around the base. So I've hoovered off the excess, and you can see there I've got that dead grass sat on the tops and bits of those rocks. So that's tidied them up quite nicely. So I'm going to put some nice little spring grass along the top of the tunnel portals as well. The grass grows on the top of the tunnels. Well, this area down here is a little bit untidy. So what I was thinking was I will plant some lichen down there so that sort of covers it up. So obviously that's not going to stay up on its own. So I'm going to need something. I've got some little sticks that I'm going to use to put some glue in there. I'll use those sticks to prop it up, and hopefully that will hold it while it dries. And then we'll have like a little tree there just as they go into the tunnel. Put some glue in. That's plenty of glue in there. And now I'm just going to push that in there. Push him in. Get him on some glue. And then now use the stick to hold him in place. Maybe a couple. Oh. Right, that should be able to stay there until the glue dries, and then we can take the sticks away. Well, my road over here is a bit too clean, so I'm just going to dirty it up a bit. So I'm going to put some grey on, and then just rub it in with the sponge. Dirty it up a bit. The other thing I've got as well is I've got a bit of brown. I'm going to try some brown in a few places, like a bit of mud. Because it gets a bit dirty up there where the army are working on the whatever they're doing on the railway, I guess. So there, some mud down there. And mud all around here as well. Yeah. Then I'm just going to finish off with some grey just to dirty it up. And yeah, the brown looks quite nice, good bit of mud. Well, I'm going to tidy up these areas around the portals, just so we've got something nice going into the tunnel.
So I've got some weeds, some coarse turf I'm going to put on, a bit of fine turf, a little bit of yellow, and I've got a couple of little bushes and things that I think I'm going to put on. So we can start with the weeds, I think. So I'm just going to use some of the sort of the grass glue, and I've got a big bit of mess going on in there where I missed out some of the static grass, so I need to cover that a little bit. So we'll put some coarse turf in there. Yeah, a bit more brown there as well. Putting some. Yeah, we put static grass on the other ones, but yeah, we'll try something different along here. Maybe you get a bush in there. Try a little bit of bush, a little tiny bit. You can go in there. There you go. There you go, some weeds over here as well. And maybe just brush that bush. A little bit of yellow. Tiny bit of yellow. Right, that's not too bad. I'm going to do this other one as well. I'm going to put a bush in here, a bigger bush. And again, I'll just brush a bit of glue on that bush. Put some yellow on him as well. Add a bit of colour. Actually, add a bit of colour in that middle. Okay, so I think maybe I need something down here. Put a bush down here as well, in this corner. Yeah, a bit of a bush, that one I'll do. There's that. And I've got some tidying up just to do down this edge. Same thing, I think we'll put some weeds in there. Drop some coarse in there. Okay. Maybe some in here. You can't see this, but there's a bit of brown on the side here as well where I've not covered it very well. So I'm going to drop some fine turf down the sides there. Or maybe just down here. Let me put a little bush in there. Okay, looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but once we get the hoover out, it should be better. Maybe down the side here as well. Look, there's some brown in here too. And I think we're going to chuck a bush in there. Some little bushes. Another little one. Okay, that's good. Right, as I say, yeah, we'll get the hoover out once we're done, and then we'll be all good. So I've also decorated these tunnel portals here. Once I get the hoover out, I say the glue will dry, and then I will suck up all of the excess and we'll see how it looks. Well, I was thinking to do something along here just to break that section up. So I found an old piece of hedge that I'd made a while back. So that actually looks quite nice. So what I might do is make a new piece of hedge that will fit all the way in there. So I will use my, whatever they're called, my green washing towel thing. Cut a piece off, put some of the coarse turf all over it, and we'll make ourselves a little hedge. So if I'm trying to work out what size I should make something, so for example, the hedge should be about as tall as a person. So I can see roughly how tall these people are. So I'm going to cut my hedge approximately at the height of that person there. So then when people are walking along, the hedge is about head height. So that would be about okay. So I'm going to get my scissors, cut my scrubbing cloth. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, because of course hedges aren't exactly perfectly straight either. So I try and keep the rough height about the same. So there is my hedge. So I'm going to get some glue out and then cover that with glue and then cover that with the coarse turf so that we can make our little hedge. Well, to try and stop me putting glue all over the bottom, I put some masking tape across the bottom of there so that I can brush all the glue over the top and then put that into my box of coarse turf, and that will hopefully cover the hedge. So we'll let that hedge dry for a while. Once the glue's dry, then we'll shake all the excess off. So we've cleaned up our tunnel portals, hoovered off all the excess, and yeah, they look okay. The paint going through. Not too bad. Same around this side. You see we've got all nice bit of greenery around the tunnel entrances there. Well, the grass was all looking too green and clean, so I took some of my liquidized leaves, and you can see I put some spray glue and then sprinkled over the brown over the green. So now it looks a bit more sort of natural, browny and green, rather than all just the green. And I've done the same on the other side. You see up here as well. So here we've got again all the brown and green, so it doesn't look quite so clean. It looks a bit more dirty, which is quite nice, and then down that little hill as well. So yeah, so it's starting to look a little bit sort of more natural. Well, hopefully our hedges have all dried out. So let's take a look. So we can shake some off, get rid of the excess. There we go. Well, not too bad. I think actually that one's still drying a bit. He's still a bit wet. So let's put a bit more on there. Yeah, these other ones hopefully have dried out. Okay, no, they're still drying. Okay, well, I've left them here already for 18 hours. So it looks like the glue is still drying. So I'm going to leave them for a bit longer. And then we'll come back to them at a later stage and see what's happening. My little helper is helping out. Ruby. I think she's just eating a box. Oh no, she's looking for sticks. There's sticks in the box. Ruby. Well, I've put some grass and some weeds and some longer grass around the line side hut there. You can see just starting to build up that area a little bit. I think I need to put some sort of dirt between the gravel because it just looks a little bit too clean. So I think of something else to put in there. Oh, it's coming along. So I'm going to glue down this platform. So I need to put down my glue. I'm going to use Copydex, which is probably what you might have at school. Copydex is quite useful because it doesn't dry solid. It dries like a rubbery consistency, so you can always peel it off if it all goes wrong. So that's what I'm hoping. It won't go wrong, of course. But I'm going to put some Copydex down and hope that it all works. Well, starting to think about positioning some trees. So you can see here I've got my weeping willow, one of the bigger lighter green trees and a little green tree. So I'm going to put trees together in threes because they look better. So you can see that sort of goes on the corner there. Yeah, I don't know, it's quite nice. Not too bad. Maybe I'll put a little tree behind it or something as well. So I think about putting those, gluing those in. I've got to drill some holes for the weeping willow and the little tree. The other tree I've got to glue down and put some brown cover down as well, and maybe some leaves on the grass that have fallen off the trees. So yeah, we see what we do. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
8:30 p.m. weekdays and Sundays. The Down Coastal Special leaves Euston for Glasgow.